So it's Myranda Velazquez.
Okay. I'm here this afternoon with Myranda Velazquez. I said it wrong. Can you say it for me? Because I
Myranda
just can't do it.
Velazquez.
Velazquez.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with last names. But
No, all good.
how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm doing above average. So
Above average. That's good.
just living.
Hey, any day you're above average, that's got to be a good day, right?
Yeah.
So what brought us to come together here is you are the head coach for Iowa Western Community College in Council Bluffs. Uh, how long have you been at Iowa Western?
So this past season was my second season with Iowa Western. I started off as the assistant coach under Monica Mendoza and then yeah, got promoted to head coach this past year.
Oh, that's very exciting. I bet that is really really fun to kind of make that promotion and make that jump.
Oh, 100%.
I remember, I'd been an assistant most of my life, and about 7 years ago, I made that jump into being a head coach. So far, what are some of the things that you've seen that's like, wow, I didn't know head coaches did that?
Um, Obviously we make a little bit of the harder decisions, but doing budgets, you talk to your ADs on the regular, trying to figure out kind of what direction you are wanting the program to go, and things change constantly. So that's kind of one thing I'm like, oh, like when I was the assistant, I was like, okay, like I'm sure it's gonna be the same next year, and then next year comes and you're like, oh, that changed, but it all for the better. So
So Iowa Western, I have not been there for a few years, but I know they had some huge facility upgrades.
yes,
What are the facilities like at Iowa Western if kids are looking at coming there?
very upkept. So, I mean, even our wellness center has a big indoor turf, extra basketball courts, uh, like extra weight room, lots of treadmills. So if, I mean, if you don't do sports at Iowa Western, you have a facility to go and work out. So I kind of like to do it like compare it to my program. So like my program, we lift 3 times a week during season, and we kind of drop it down to 2 times a week in season.
Uh-huh.
If the girls did want to get an extra lift in or extra workout, they're able to have access to the wellness center. The weight room is insane. We have just amazing stuff.
Yeah,
um,
no. Well, Iowa Western's I mean, they've had success in a lot of different sports,
yeah,
so I know I think I've seen them on, I can't remember the name of the show off of Netflix. I believe I've seen it a couple times. They played in
yeah.
the national junior college, things and stuff. So just a lot of success there. So the facilities, match that success. And
Hmm.
the wrestling room, I remember seeing pictures of it. Is there anything unique about the wrestling room that maybe compared to our old wrestling rooms when we threw a couple mats down and you got a little bit of technology going on in there, don't you?
Yes. Right now we have three full mats, and then we have cameras on each mat. So we'll have three full mats and then three cameras on aligning with each of the mats that are recording. So, say an athlete wants to come in and do a one-on-one session, we're able to record it, kind of review it, and kind of, yeah, just
That's
utilize
got to be, yeah.
utilize that to the best of our ability.
Yeah, that's got to be super helpful. Just when you're trying to talk about positioning and things like
Mhm.
that, you tell them they're out of position, but they don't see it, because they can't see that. So not having that opportunity, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to come down and check out the facility sometime. You just hired an assistant coach that I've known for quite a while. Uh,
Yes.
what's it gonna be like to have an Abby join the staff?
I think Abby's gonna be just a great addition to our program. Honestly, she's young. She has a lot to give. I have a lot to absorb from her, and the willingness to just want to be a coach. I think that's going to be great and just a great addition to our program. To be
Yeah,
honest,
man, she's
um,
fun. I've known Abby since she's been just a little thing, just getting
yeah,
started in wrestling,
yeah,
and so I've watched her journey through the sport, and it's been really fun to watch that. Let's get to know you just a little bit too. Your background, California native. Uh,
yep.
why don't you tell us, what you did in California and then how you got out here?
Yeah, so kind of just going back from the beginning and trying to keep, a long story on the shorter end, but from Los Banos, California, Central Valley. So not really from anywhere you would think, not anywhere big, right? It's about a population of 50,000 people. I went to Pacheco High School. I think women's wrestling was sanctioned back in 2012 in California. So my first year in high school, I did wrestle the boys. And then in 2012 came around and we actually were sanctioned, and then we started having like girl tournaments, all girl tournaments, and we started wrestling the girls and having a little bit of a bigger women's team. I did qualify for state my junior year, and then I went 0-2. So, just kind of learning, navigating the world. I didn't start wrestling until I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And what kind of got me into that was like my uncles wrestled, my dad wrestled, my brother wrestled, and then senior year comes around and I've had a couple of injuries. So I ended up tearing my ACL my sophomore year of high school and then my meniscus my senior year of high school.
Oh,
So
geez.
yeah, so qualified for state my senior year, but ended up tearing my meniscus in the master tournament. So I couldn't finish out my season. Um, Out of there, I went to the University of Jamestown in Jamestown, North Dakota.
Okay. Who
So
was your coach at that time?
Tony DeAnda.
So, funny story. We'll get off here. Tony and I were teammates at one time in high school.
So in high school, I was like, oh, did you
Yeah.
wrestle with him in college? Okay.
No, no, in high school. So he was a few years younger than me. And he was out for basketball as a freshman.
Tony?
And yes, our coach went and grabbed Tony because Tony is I'm short, but Tony's short.
Right.
And he went and told the basketball coach, I'm just going to take him, and he did. And they ended up moving to Sioux City. He went from Denison, Iowa, but he ended up moving to Sioux City and becoming a state champion. So obviously the right choice. He's back at Jamestown, I see.
Yes, he is.
So sorry, we got off on that
No, that's
tangent,
okay.
but
That's funny.
what's
I was like,
yeah.
Tony in basketball. I can't say that. I can't say that
Yeah.
highly enough.
Well, all of his friends played basketball, and then so he was,
Fair enough.
in middle school you could play both sports. So he's just, well, I
Hmm.
guess I'll play basketball. My friends play basketball. So yeah, it was definitely a good decision. Since we're on Tony, what was it like to have Tony as a coach? Because I actually sent him an email last night to see if he wanted to do the show.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a great technician. I learned a lot, especially, up in the didn't coming from California, like I don't know what it is, but like I never really knew how to hand fight. And so when I transitioned from high school to college, I was like, okay, we actually have to grab people. We actually
Uh-huh.
have to grab people. And just taught me really how to use my upper body to the best, to my advantage, I guess.
Very good.
So
And what was
he's
so
a
there?
funny
There
guy. He's a funny
Yeah, he
guy.
is. He is. Um, what the transition from California,
Hmm.
um, and I know you probably in the Central Valley, you probably get some seasons, you get some weather
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
But North Dakota basically is either it's hot or it's really freaking cold.
Hmm.
What was that like going up to North Dakota?
So I used to tell my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna pick Jamestown because I love the snow. Like having 4 seasons gonna be so great. And then you get there and you're just like, professors are canceling class because it's just too cold outside. It's negative, it feels like -50. You can't even go outside and breathe because there's like a warning, like if you breathe this in, you're gonna die. And it's like, what? Um, but yeah, it's crazy. But it's fun too. Like, I don't know. I like the snow, weirdly enough. I don't like driving in it. Don't let me fool you. But
Oh
the
yeah.
snow, like playing, going outside and being like, oh, this white snow on the floor, like that's cool. That's fun.
I,
That's
I'm
fun to me.
Yeah, I have not been to Jamestown. I've been up to Fargo, but I've
Yep.
not been to Jamestown. And Fargo during the summer. I think that they feel like, that maybe they recruit to there during the summertime. So you,
Hmm.
you feel like, oh, wow, this is a really nice place. And then you show up in the wintertime. It's like, oh,
You're
crap.
like,
What did I
oh no.
do? And I'm always going to just dislike Jamestown just a little bit. I'm just because I got beat out of the NAIA tournament my senior year by somebody from Jamestown. So always had a bad taste in my mouth for Jamestown, but no, that's all right. I've always liked Tony. He's such a good guy. But let's get back to you at Iowa Central. If I were to bring one of my athletes over, what would you how what's the best recruiting pitch you got for us? What are you going to tell my athletes?
Um, I kind of like to keep it super transparent and just like this is just kind of how it is. You lay out, you kind of tell them, the schedule is going to be like, what the classes are going to be like. Um, and it's kind of, I don't know, like I feel like I'm just myself when I talk to people. Um, and I really like to promote, like, this is what we do, this is not who we are.
Hmm.
Um, as an athlete, I found myself a lot of, when I was competing, I guess it was just like, I'm a wrestler, I'm a wrestler, I'm a wrestler. And it's just like, okay, yes. And like, of course we want to win, but how can I help you as a person? How can I, you know, get you to see that you are more than just an athlete? You're valuable and you're a good person and you deserve good things because, I feel like that's just our human right. As long as we're good people, we're good to go. I like to tell them that I never want my athletes to be better wrestlers than they are people. Um, and just being like, if you guys ever need anything, like my athletes know now, like I would do anything for them. Um, Appropriate, like
Yeah,
like
no, I
remind me, like
understand.
let's go hide
Yeah,
a
yeah,
body.
yeah. Well, if we had to hide a body,
But it's just like, I tell them I'm just like, if you guys, needed to go on a visit to Iowa Central, and I'm always encouraging, like wherever you see yourself going and like growing, that's where you should pick. Never like, oh, like we're the best and we're like, it's like, yes, but you'll see that. Like
Yeah,
when you come to our facilities, or if you can see yourself, at a different school's facilities, like awesome. Um, Getting to know me as a person. I always encourage visits. Like, yes, I recruit on phone. It's like, come down for a visit. Let's get to know each other. Let's talk. Um, because sometimes I'm not for everybody. Like any other coach, like they might not be
yeah,
for everybody either. Um, and so it's kind of just like, you know, where can you see yourself fitting in? Where can you see yourself becoming the best version of you? Um, so yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of what I tell them. That's just
No,
how it is.
that's great. And when you talked about this is what we do, it's not who we are.
Hmm.
Uh, I say that a lot too. So, like you said, when you were competing, you're a wrestler, you're this and that. Did
Hmm.
you struggle after that last match, that last college match? Did you like, oh God, what am I now?
So funny thing is, I graduated the year of 2020. So I was wrestling under Shauna Kemp at the time, and she's an amazing coach.
Yeah.
Because she had taken over right after Tony had left. Um, 2020, we get the call the day before our national tournament
Hmm.
is, you know, gonna go on. They get the call, they're like, shut everything down, you're done. And I think I was like a pound over, right? We were gonna have practice that afternoon, and Shauna calls us in for a meeting and was like, there's not gonna be a tournament. And you kind of like sit with yourself and you're just like, huh. And I think I went through a whole like identity crisis crisis of like, what am I if this is not, you know, what we're gonna do anymore. I did try coming back competing, but it's really hard when you're doing it alone. You go through this whole like shutdown era, and then you try to come back and you're not training, you're not taking nutritious as serious. You don't really have like coaches and you're trying to do everything by yourself, and it was just it was just a lot. And so if I can help prevent somebody else going through that, then I've done something, you know.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I agree with you. I after my last match as a senior, I'd always felt like that was my identity as I am a
mhm,
wrestler, and then
mhm,
it was over, and them
mhm,
darn Jamestown guys and stuff. But and then I didn't know. I kind of was lost for a number of years.
mhm,
You found your way back to wrestling fairly quick. How did you
mhm.
get into coaching?
So I don't know if you know the Midland University head coach, Chelsea Dionisio.
I don't now, but funny story. I went to Dana College,
Okay.
and Dana College closed down in 2010.
Yeah.
And the Midland University, which they're 20 minutes apart, Midland picked
Mhm.
up that. So the coaches that I worked with, So I went to Dana and then I helped coach the last 2 years it was open. The
Okay.
coaches that I was working with actually started the program at Midland. So
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Antonio Barber or any of
I
probably
feel like
not.
I've
That might have
heard of them maybe,
they
but
went to JUCO in college or in Kansas, but they had started that program, and Antonio was the first women's coach there and stuff.
okay.
So I have some connections to some of the things. But yes, I do know Midland, but I don't know the new coach now.
Okay. No, so she was my teammate, then my graduate assistant my last year, and then she had gotten the head coaching position um back in 21. In 2021, head coaching position was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "Come be my graduate assistant." And so I ended up going there 2 seasons, earning my master's, and then I coached another year as the assistant coach.
Oh, very
So
nice.
yeah,
Did you like Fremont?
I actually really loved Fremont. Really love Fremont. I mean, we're 50 minutes away, and she's still over there, so I go visit her and my goddaughter. So, because I was like,
Yeah.
she has two little girls now, but her oldest is, yeah, I'm the godmother.
Oh, very nice.
So,
I have a daughter that lives in Fremont, and then
oh, okay,
my parents actually moved to Fremont after my high school senior year. So I kind of hung out, and they were about 2 blocks from Midland and stuff.
okay,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of hung out in the area too. So oh, very cool. We had a lot of little small world type
Little
of
connection,
things
yeah.
going. Yeah, that is
That's
really
funny.
cool. Um, when you're looking at athletes coming in, I
Hmm.
know that you don't always, sometimes it's random draw who shows up at your door, especially, junior
Hmm.
college, maybe even more so. Um, but what's something you really look for in athletes, and not just in athletes, but in just the people that you're recruiting?
Yeah. Um, so when I'm kind of looking at athletes, I like to really like talk to them because like, and this is just kind of my mindset. Like I can teach anybody how to wrestle. I can't teach the dog.
Yeah,
Like like when you just got that dog in you, that's hard. And so just, asking the tough questions. Hey, how do you handle adversity? Giving them scenarios. How do you, find yourself still being a part of the team, even if so and so happened to you? Um, I can't make anybody want it. And so, listening to their goals and just really asking, like, where do you see yourself kind of, or what do you see yourself doing in the next year? Oh, I'm going to be a national champ. And it's just like, okay, like, and you can tell by talking to somebody the sincerity of the conversation and just like how bad, like, they kind of want, to achieve the things that they want. And it's also to not counting out the academic part because I want them to have a plan outside of wrestling. Oh, I'm
yeah,
going to be a nurse. Awesome. How are your grades in high school? Oh, I have a 4 point something GPA. And it's just like, okay, like this person I, probably don't have to like hover over so much when it comes to
yeah,
academics. And I probably don't have to hover over as so much when it comes to wrestling. Um, so just kind of, hearing what they kind of say and kind of you can tell a lot by a person just by the way they talk and how they present themselves. So
yeah. Um, Iowa Western community college. I think it's a great option.
yeah.
And Iowa has some amazing options at every level of
Hmm.
wrestling. But when we look at statistically, and I bring this up quite often because it comes up quite often of all the girls wrestling in the state of Iowa, about
Yeah.
4% wrestle in college. That's a
Yeah.
pretty small number, honestly,
Hmm. Yeah.
but half of that number is usually done within the first 2 years of wrestling.
Hmm.
So obviously that lends to the community colleges quite a bit. 2 years, either your body's failing, wrestling in college wasn't for you. There's some reason for that, and I think that's probably normal across most sports.
Yeah.
We think wrestling or competing at the college level sounds like a great idea until you
Hmm.
have to do what a college wrestler does. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's options. There are different options at 2 year schools that a 4 year school doesn't have. And
Hmm.
you're a 4 year school graduate, you're a master's. You have all that. You have that education. But what are some unique things to like Iowa Western as far as majors or programs that they can do
Yeah.
that maybe aren't traditional?
So um, we have a lot of trade. So like we'll have welding, we have like some construction management, we have aviation. We're just getting a whole new building, you know, dedicated to our aviation program. We have the fire science. Uh, we have culinary. So these are all things that I even learned, and I was like, what? Like I had recruits coming in, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do culinary, and I'm like, we have that. So it's like things that they just keep on adding each and every day. I really wish that this was an option when I was going going to school, you know,
Oh
picking a
yeah.
college, because I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I wasn't the strongest student. I'm a very hands-on learner, and sitting in a classroom was always like kind of a struggle for me.
Hmm.
So just kind of having those options of like, you know, hey, I'm going to graduate in 2 years with something and I'm able to get a job out of here. Like, I think that's awesome because some people only want to go to school for 2 years. And it's like, if they can wrestle an extra 2 years out of high school, then like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, usually you would have to go to a 4 year, like, you know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Have the options of, I mean, and women's wrestling has grown. How hard is it now? Because and Nebraska's growing in there because
yeah.
you're sit right on the border. Nebraska's
Hmm.
growing in their numbers too, but is it, I could be off on my numbers, but I think Iowa has 23 colleges or universities that have women's wrestling. I think it's
Yep.
23 now. That's
Yes.
an insane amount for a state as small as Iowa.
And Bellevue just opened up, and Bellevue's right next to us. And
Real,
so
yeah.
they just added a women's program. And so um, recruiting is some, you know, it can give or take. It's like some people want to leave their hometown. I have a couple
Hmm.
girls from New Mexico coming in next, you know, next season. And some people are like, I want to stay as close to home as possible. And that's right next door to Omaha. They're like, but we don't want to go to 4 year university because we don't want to wrestle 4 more years. We only want to wrestle two. So you kind of find out what people want and you kind of use that to your advantage a little bit. Just like, hey, like we might have something that you know, can find yourself doing. So let's collaborate and like let's get you on the team.
Yeah. And so recruit another thing that I've talked to a number of the JUCO coaches.
Mhm.
Have you started developing relationships with some 4 year schools so kids have some options to move past? Are they looking at your kids right,
Oh
during the
yeah.
season and stuff?
Yeah, I have a lot of coaches reach out just about, you know, sophomores, even freshmen sometimes and even like if a freshman is like, you know, does wins a national title first year and somebody like wants to offer her money and do that, and it's like if this is the best route for you and like you like this coach and you like this program and you can see yourself, you know, doing all the things that you want to do, it's like after a year I'm like, let's go, like go ahead. um because if I can continue to have the girls continue education, continue wrestling and, you know, reaching their goals, um then yeah. So I'm just trying to make friends with all the 4 year coaches.
Oh yeah.
Midland, friends with Chelsea, Northwestern College, Luis, Coach Luis. Um,
He's fantastic.
he's awesome.
I had the opportunity to meet him this year. He's also done the interview and stuff, but I
Okay,
ran into
yeah.
him a number of times now at other tournaments and stuff. So
Oops,
yeah.
sorry, my alarm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was like, I have an
he's
alarm to drink water every hour. I'll forget. Fun fact about me.
That's a good. So let's discuss that because nutrition has changed over the years,
Hmm.
a lot over the years, and
Yep.
how we cut weight. What are some of the things that you're having your athletes and what do you talk about as far as nutrition and hydration and weight cut?
Yeah. I don't ever encourage weight cut. So if the girls want to drop a weight class, then that's kind of a discussion that we have. And like, you know, it's like, hey, you chose to go this weight class, so this is kind of like now an obligation of on you. If they do want to cut a weight class and, you know, are having a hard time, then we sit down and talk about nutrition. I like to have the girls write out every single thing they ate for a whole week straight, you know. If it's a Snickers bar, then put a Snickers bar in there. If it's a muffin, put a muffin. If you're eating ice cream out of the ice cream machine 3 times a week, then or 3 times a day, like you need to put this in your thing.
And why wouldn't you eat ice cream 3 times a day? Because that's the
Right.
greatest thing ever.
And then we start, what I like to do is I kind of like to give advice. Okay, maybe we should eat ice cream once a day and start eating, you know, maybe a different snack here, a different snack here. I never like to or like tell the girls to restrict. Um, I just, I feel like that leads to a little bit more on the binge side. Like, oh, I
Hmm.
can't have, like, the mindset is I can't have this, so now I want it even more. It's like, no,
Yep.
you can have it, but you can also have it tomorrow. And now like trying to put like whole foods into their diets and just kind of helping them in that way. Um, so I think nutrition's so important, especially, you know, we work out twice a day, especially when we get into season, we're working out twice a day. The sleep is super important. Um, and so just kind of like encouraging that, telling the girls like, hey, like, and I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but like telling the
That's
girls
right.
like, hey, like how important, how crucial it is, per performance.
Yeah, and obviously you believe in not nutrition, but hydration because you're
Hmm.
setting an alarm. You're setting an alarm to drink water. That's pretty impressive. That's impressive because
Yeah.
I've tried to go that gallon a day, and boy, it's
It's
tough.
hard. It is hard. I was like, I think I'm on like maybe like 60 ounces right now, and it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So,
That's pretty impressive. I work nights, so I'm on my first cup of coffee, and that's where I'm at right now. Um, let's get to know you just a little bit better as a person and stuff, and through your wrestling journey. Let's give some coaches, who inspired you. Let's go ahead and who have been some of those coaches that you like, because obviously you're
yeah.
coaching now, so you had to have good coaches in order for you to want to do this. So who are some of
Um,
those coaches?
I don't like to, I was like, not to like, don't like talk about it, but my godfather. So like my mom's oldest brother, he wrestled for Gilroy High School, back then. Don't I was like, don't know how long ago, but um, yeah, he is probably the one that probably put it in my ear the most, and he coached like volunteer coached at my high school when I was growing up, and so he was able to coach me. Coach Louis, well, I called him Nino because that's what Godfather means in Spanish. So he's my Nino. And then Coach Singh, also at Pacheco High School, was the women's coach at the time. Um, and good, they were just super encouraging. They were hard on me, right? Because they wanted me to be, the best that I could be. But like, I don't know, they just made things fun. They made things, like tough and stuff, but kind of like lighthearted, and was just like, hey, like go out there, do your best, like, and just wrestle. And so I don't know, just looking back, I feel like that was like my biggest inspiration to be like, maybe I can like make a difference because they made a difference in my life. Um, yeah.
I like
So
that.
yeah.
That's good. That's real good. And so outside of wrestling, because we've talked about this, outside of, you wrestled, but it's not who you are. What's something you do outside of wrestling that maybe we wouldn't believe or wouldn't know, or a hobby, something like that?
I do a lot of personal development. Um, I like to read books. I like to kind of grow my mindset, because like if you're not growing, then you're just stagnant. You're just, like, I feel like life is all about growing. It's learning, learning more about myself and just, trying to figure out like why am I the way I am. And I do a lot of reading, a lot of journaling. I like to write my schedule out. I like to walk my dogs, and just kind of, dig deep and just kind of find out more about myself, because if I find more out about myself, then maybe I can help somebody else kind of, do the same. So,
So you said a really magic word there, dogs. Dog people are the best people. Those cat people, we can give or take those people, but dogs, what kind of dogs do you have?
I have like a terrier mix, big guy, you know, he looks like a pit, but don't really know, right? And then I have a Rhodesian Ridgeback Bloodhound. So kind of big boys. They're both about 70 pounds.
Ooh,
Athletic, like to have fun. They're
did you get
crazy.
them trained right away to walk properly? Because man,
Yep.
that's good. Because
Beautiful on the leash. Yeah.
I'm 3 years in, and I'm just finally getting my little girl there that's 70 pounds also to not pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
they just like to
wow.
go, especially the big breeds, the big bully breeds. They love to go. They
Yeah.
love to go. So, um, yeah, no. Zazu is my mix's name, and he's gray and big, and he loves to just like he's gonna turn 9 next week, and
Wow.
you would think he's like 2 because he has all this energy. And then Mushi's the more athletic one. Mushi is the Ridgeback, and he's the more athletic, more like can run 10 miles with you and be fine. And then Zazu's like explosive, like let's just get crazy.
Yeah, both of mine are more on the lazy side of dogs. So we get a little walking every day and then we're gonna sleep the rest of the day. So
Nope, fair.
um, we have talked a little bit about food, but kind of on the better side, the not the better
Mhm.
side, the nutrition side.
Yeah,
Do you have a guilty pleasure food, something that you're like, man, I love and crave this food?
pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza or Oreos. I think I tell my boyfriend every night, or almost every night, I'm like, hey, let's get some Oreos tonight. And he's like, Miranda, like you can eat like two whole rows by yourself. Like maybe we shouldn't get Oreos tonight. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, you're right. But weird
So
thing, I don't like double stuffed.
I was just gonna ask
Nope.
which Oreo we do because there's a lot of variety now.
Hmm.
Well, I think
I don't
there's
know,
even
like,
birthday cake Oreos.
oh, those are the best. Those are the best. Those are the best Oreos. But I can't do double stuffed. I don't know why. Uh, I don't know. Just the cream is okay, but it makes the Oreo, so you have to have the Oreo with the cream, right? But it's just too much cream at that point with double stuffed.
So important question, probably one of the most important question I'm gonna ask. How do you eat your Oreo? Do you twist and have them in two pieces? Do you dunk? How is the Oreo eating done?
I definitely rip them apart. Okay, okay. And then I'll eat like I'll get a knife and I'll like scoop the frosting out and then just eat it off the knife. And then I eat the cookies separately
Cookies are separate. So now that's unique.
in milk. In milk.
So you are a dunker.
Yep.
That's not allowed in my household because my wife can't have soggy things. It freaks her out.
Really?
So I do it on purpose. Sometimes I dunk things just to make her mad at me. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's not supposed to be allowed in our house, but it's the only way to do it, really.
Yeah. I was like, even PB&J's, I'm dunking that in milk.
Ooh, I've not done that. That might be good. That
It's
might be
pretty
all
good.
right. So pizza, on the other
Mhm.
hand, where's your favorite pizza coming out of in Council Bluffs?
Oof. Okay, see, it's not in Council Bluffs, so right next to Omaha.
Yep,
Have you ever been to Backlot
I have
Tap
not.
House?
I have
It's like
not.
Detroit style, thick. It's the best pizza. Or Lyle's Pizzeria, which is also in Omaha over the way, but Council Bluffs, I really like it. The Porch.
Okay.
The porch has good pizza as well. But yeah, if we're eating food, like we're usually going to Omaha, just across the
Yeah.
bridge.
Well, man, Omaha's got so much. I mean,
Yeah, they really
it's
do.
crazy. And Council Bluffs is it's definitely the smaller area of, it's
Yeah.
Council Bluffs. If you know Council Bluffs,
I feel like it's a
but
suburb like of Omaha.
yeah.
Like,
But Omaha, I mean, that's got to be something else because I know coming to when I went to college in Blair,
mhm,
20 minutes away from Omaha, that
right.
was a draw, Hey,
Hmm.
we're 20 minutes from Omaha. We can come in and we can do anything we want. We can go to concerts, we do movies, any time of day you can eat, so
Yeah.
it's got to be kind of a draw too.
Hmm.
Up in Northwest Iowa, like you talked about Northwestern and BV, sometimes that's a hard recruit because they're in the middle of nowhere,
Yep.
you know. It can be kind of tough to, well, we have nothing. So, um, you've got to travel a little bit with wrestling. I mean,
Hmm.
and obviously you're from California, so that's a beautiful state. Uh, but if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Where would you go on vacation?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Tokyo, Japan. I just feel like their culture there is just it's just I don't know. It's like they're living in like 2080 like um and I think that's like the culture there is just beautiful. I think, being able to experience, you know, things like that, I think that would be awesome.
Did you ever have the opportunity to wrestle somebody from Japan?
Never. Mm-mm.
Never. I've obviously I never did either, but I was at the World Cup in Iowa City or in Coralville, and
Mhm.
every one of the Japanese wrestlers looks exactly the same. They're just about this much taller and about this much thicker as the weight goes up, and they
Yeah.
wrestle exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's a crazy culture of wrestling there. It
Yeah.
it is. It's insane.
It's crazy.
How would you compare? So you've been around Iowa now for, let's see, a
Hmm.
few years now.
Hmm.
California wrestling culture versus Iowa wrestling culture. What's different about that?
California versus Iowa. I think the difference, California is a little bit more on the technical side, and
Hmm.
Iowa mean. You're just mean in Iowa. Heavy hand fighting, positions, you're looking, positionally. I like California, you kind of just like it's like a touch and go. It's very fast. It's very fast. And in Iowa, it's slowed
A
down a
little
little
more.
bit, but you're hitting them, you're, getting a little bit mean with it. Um, so I would probably say that's like the biggest, the biggest difference, if you watch the California State, finals compared to Iowa State finals, it's like it's like a lot of do 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 do, like go 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 go, a lot of
Uh-huh.
fast, and then you watch Iowa and so like, oh, like okay, like
It's
ooh, that was
a little
nasty,
more of a
like
brawl.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
It's probably that Iowa style because I mean, just the Dan Gable Brand's style of
mhm,
wrestling is always kind of been that, and that's kind of how we've
yeah,
always. I guess that's our identity here, you know.
but that's good. Like you want that. Like you just have that little bit of oomph, like when you wrestle.
Now you said you read books a lot,
Mhm.
and my philosophy on books is if it's a good book, they'll make a movie out of it.
Mhm.
So because I'm such a bad reader, I'm horrible at it, but. You said you sit around, you and your boyfriend, you watch, you eat Oreos. Are you binging any TV shows right now?
We just got done watching a season of 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, nice. I've watched it. I have watched it.
And it's just insane. It was like I was like, oh my gosh, this show is crazy, and it keeps on. It like draws you back in. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch the next episode. People are like, yeah, we're watching Love Island, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah. I've tried Love Island. The girls, when we go to Florida last year, they're
Oh
like, "Oh,
God,
everybody was watching Love Island," so I tried, and it was like, "Oh God, no,
I was like, this
no,
is crazy.
yeah, not for me at all." Um, how about what has wrestling taught you? What's the big thing that wrestling has taught you over the years?
Big thing wrestling has taught me is you just gotta trust the process, and that's in life, in your wrestling because it's things don't come easy, but everything at the end of the day is going to be worth it. You keep on, you are not quote unquote good at a move. Well, you keep on, you work it enough every single day, then yeah, you're going to, eventually get good at a move. Something doesn't go your way in a job. Well, you keep on just bettering yourself each and every day, then the turnaround will come. Um, so just being able to trust the process and just kind of go from there. Can
You're
we
fine.
stop really
Yep,
quick? My baby's
yep,
crying. I'm so sorry.
yep. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that smile. Oh my gosh, he's a natural, man.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll change the direction of this interview now. So what is his name?
His name is Silas.
We have to he's kind of out of frame. There we go. And how old are you, Silas?
He's like, I'm 7 months.
You're 7 months now. Wow. That is so much fun. I have a grandson I have three grandchildren now, and the youngest is right at 2 years, just going to be 2 years here. Not quite yet, but man, that's a fun man. He's a happy guy.
After crying for 30 seconds, he's like, all right.
I'm done with that. Oh, what a happy little guy. That's fantastic. Yes. Are you going to be a wrestler too?
Hopefully.
Probably. I bet so.
Yeah, I
You
was
got the
like,
look already. I see it. I
I was
see
like,
it in
I
the
wrestled, his
eyes.
dad wrestled.
Oh, very nice. Um, when you look back on wrestling and your career
Mhm.
as an athlete and even as a coach now, and you're sitting on the porch and you're thinking about, kicking kids off your lawn and all those fun things that we do as we get older and gray. Um, what are you going to remember about wrestling?
I think all the relationships that I've built in this sport, um, whether they were good or bad. You know, just like, dang, like that was a really like if it was great, then it's like that was a really good friendship. And it's like if it wasn't so great, it's like, what did that teach me? You know,
Hmm.
just yeah, just how much fun, how much fun I had too, being able to just go out there, compete against one other person and have team and coaches support you throughout the journey.
Yeah. So you've wrestled, man, like you said, you started with before even California sanctioned, and California is one of the first three to sanction the sport of wrestling. If there's a so you there was something that drew you to that sport, right?
Yeah.
If there's a young lady that's just not sure, man, I don't know if wrestling's for me, what advice would you give somebody that's thinking about wrestling?
If somebody's like, I'm not really sure, and it's just like, well, why wrestling? And it's like, well, why not wrestling? Taking that leap of faith and it's just like, do the hard. Why not? Just it's fun. It doesn't have to be, taken so and that's kind of like, I don't know if that's like like a controversy, like top controversial topic, but it's like wrestling's supposed to be fun.
Hmm.
And like it's hard work and I think it's gonna teach you a lot. Um, but I just don't think it has to be taken so serious. Um,
I think you're right.
but
I
in
do. I
a
mean, I really like watching our senior level wrestlers.
yeah,
You know, like a Helen. I mean, she's fantastic, and most people are never going to achieve what she's achieved. But
right.
Helen and Sarah and all they're just so lighthearted, and I know they
Yeah,
train hard. I know they
yeah,
train really hard, harder, but they're always so nice and friendly, and
yes,
like they always seem to be having fun doing what they're
yes.
doing.
Sarah, or not Sarah, but Helen, salsa dances for
Yeah,
fun and like having a hobby outside of that to keep it light, to keep it fun, to keep it not so like I need to do this and I need to, it's just like no, like I'm gonna train hard and I'm gonna hope and pray for the results, but at the end of the day, like I still got all these things, like all these great things behind me still too. So I think, like this is fun and keep it that way and hopefully that the people that are getting into it have the support system to be able to keep it that way.
that's very good. I really like that. Um, Two things left.
Yeah.
If we were gonna say, what do you think it means, not the organization, but what do you think it means to wrestle like a girl?
What I think it means to wrestle like a girl is to wrestle free, to wrestle fun, to be able to find out things that you've maybe didn't know about yourself. um Gosh, I think women's wrestling is the best
I'm not gonna disagree. Honestly,
because you're just able to like show like who you are, but like I don't know, like we're just tough. Like we are just
yeah,
tough. Um, and so I just think wrestling is just wrestling at like a girl is fun, free, beautiful.
I like that. Yeah, I agree with you. I coached for since 1999, so
Mhm.
that's a long time of coaching. And the last 10 years or so, I've coached girls. The last 7 years, I've been a head coach of a girls team, and you couldn't get me to go back the other
Yeah,
direction.
yeah,
There's just no way, never, not happening. The emotion, I think the fun part for me is it's okay that there's emotion in the sport and it's
yes,
a fun emotion. I mean,
yes.
there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of tears, but
Mhm.
I think that's important, and so I love girls and women's wrestling. I think it's such an important thing. Obviously, I mean, I do this as a hobby. I talk
Yeah.
to women across the state, Iowa, so. But last thing for you, I know you're busy, you got your hands full, you got all kinds of stuff going on. But final thoughts, I always, have give that opportunity if there's something you'd like people to know about, Iowa Western or yourself.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I mean, I just want to say thank you for having me, first of all, first and foremost. Um, and I think just in general, um, just life is not easy. And I think that, if we can throw some fun and just lightheartedness, throughout this life that, we're going through, um, I think that's what kind of makes it all worth it at the end of the day. Uh, just don't be too serious. Don't take things too seriously. Um, and let's just go and have fun. I like to have
Awesome.
fun. So if you couldn't
That's
tell,
perfect. No, that's great. I appreciate you. It's been really fun getting to know you. I know
yeah,
we're gonna get to know each other better.
yes,
I you know we'll have to get you involved in some of the things. You know, your assistant's
yeah,
going to Florida with me this year.
yep, yep,
You know, so we'll definitely be. I'm definitely gonna make a visit out to Iowa Western and see the facilities.
absolutely,
Do some pictures and some filming and we'll meet your kids and awesome. So thank you very much. I appreciate you.
yes,
I'm going to hit the stop button here, but go ahead and hold
okay,
on for just a few moments.
okay.